What if we told you there's a place in Europe where women lead empires and barefoot dancers walk through fire without a scar? A place where nodding means no and silence speaks louder than any word you know. This isn't fantasy. This is Bulgaria. And this travel documentary will take you beyond the postcards, past the usual tourist traps, into the rose fields at dawn, through caves that stare back at you like ancient gods, and into mountain villages where time forgot to tick. You'll meet women who build businesses by day and distill history into yogurt by night. You'll see love sold and sanctified in the same marketplace. And you'll uncover a nation shaped by myth, war, mystery, and irresistible beauty. Bulgaria isn't loud. It doesn't scream for your attention, but once you arrive, it whispers something unforgettable into your soul, and it never quite lets go. So before you press play, ask yourself, how much do you really know about this hidden heart of Europe? And are you ready to have it completely wonderful? Number 1, the bold beauty of Bulgarian women. In every unforgettable travel documentary, the soul of a country isn't found in its monuments, but in its women. And in Bulgaria, that soul wears heels and walks with quiet power. Bulgarian women possess a kind of allure that's hard to put into words, like poetry wrapped in silk and steel. It's not just about their radiant porcelain skin, raven black hair, or haunting blue eyes that seem to carry the Balkan dusk. It's about their posture, always upright, never apologetic, their voice low, melodic, unhurried, their gaze soft, but never unsure. These women have the grace of dancers and the grit of warriors. They lead boardrooms, launch startups, teach university classes, and still find time to cook their grandmother's recipe for benitsa on Sunday. In every travel documentary that dares to look beyond the surface, you'll find that Bulgarian women are not just part of the country. But what really leaves a mark isn't how they look, it's how they carry what's invisible: patience, pride, fire. They are not ornaments of the East, they are architects of their own futures. And when they walk into a room, the atmosphere adjusts. If a woman could embody a whole nation's spirit, what kind of spirit would you want to meet face to face? Number 2, the rise of the unattached queens. Zoom in closer in your travel documentary and you'll see something that turns heads and expectations inside out. Across Bulgaria, a silent movement has taken shape: strong, independent women who are unapologetically single, not because they can't find love, but because they know their worth. Nearly 40% of Bulgarian women today choose to build careers, homes, and dreams before inviting anyone else in. They don't wait for someone to save them, they are the someone. These women own shops in Plovdiv, run tech firms in Sofia, and coordinate NGO missions from their laptops in sunlit cafes. And when they're not closing deals, they're taking care of siblings, volunteering, or planting tomatoes in grandma's village garden. In every travel documentary featuring Eastern Europe's new wave, these women are its unexpected protagonists, quiet rebels in heels. They are not bitter, they are not waiting, they're living rich, intentional lives. And if love arrives, great, but if not, they'll still raise a glass of Mavrud wine to themselves on a Friday night, with or without a +1. Would you be confident enough to stand beside a woman who doesn't just dream big, but lives like her life already is the dream? Number 3, why foreign men are falling for Bulgarian women. In every travel documentary that dares to dip into the intimate love, desire, longing, there comes a point where Bulgaria sneaks into the frame, not with fanfare, but with the quiet elegance of a woman who knows exactly what she's worth. Bulgarian women don't chase, they don't beg, they choose. And for foreign men, from Manhattan to Munich, being chosen by her is like winning something you didn't even know you were playing for. It's not just about her high cheekbones or hypnotic eyes, though that helps. It's her emotional fluency, her depth, her way of listening without interrupting, of teasing with a half smile, then dropping a quote from Dostoevsky mid-conversation. She'll meet you in a smoky jazz bar in Sofia and talk blockchain or poetry, then outdrink you in homemade rakia, and later, barefoot, she'll dance to old folk songs under string lights at a village wedding. That's not a fantasy, it's her weekend. In every travel documentary that seeks to capture romance without cliché, she becomes the pulse, the reason a man might extend his stay or never leave. So here's the question. If you met a woman who could see right through you and still smiled, what part of you would you finally be willing to reveal? Number 4, Bulgaria's First Ladies of Legacy. Every travel documentary worth remembering gives you heroes, and in Bulgaria, they wear skirts and steel. Long before Western feminism had its first wave, Bulgarian women were already leading uprisings, writing manifestos, and flying warplanes. They weren't waiting to be empowered. They were power. Wrapped in tradition, draped in purpose, fueled by something the modern world rarely understands. Quiet, generational, defiant. Rina Kasabova, she didn't just ride in a plane. At 15, she flew into a battlefield sky, dropping messages of resistance over enemy lines. Reneta Inzova, she didn't inherit leadership, she demanded it, becoming the first female prime minister in Eastern Europe with nothing but sheer brilliance and grit. These are the women history books can barely contain, yet in most travel documentaries, their names are whispers when they should be thunder. They weren't anomalies. They were the blueprint. Even now, Bulgarian women look to their past and walk forward, taller, braver, in a culture stitched together by struggle and poetry. These women didn't just make history, they bent it in their favor. If history were a dinner party and the guest list was all the women who changed everything, whose story would you ask to hear first? Number 5, the reversed romance of Bulgaria. You think you've mastered body language until you come to Bulgaria. In one of the most disorienting yet strangely charming revelations any travel documentary can uncover, this Balkan nation flips your most basic instincts upside down. Here, nodding means no, and shaking your head, that means yes. Imagine walking through Sofia, trying to flirt or negotiate or simply order dinner, and every signal you thought you understood now lies to your fate. This twist isn't just a cultural quirk, it's a symbol of something deeper. In many Western countries, expressions are loud, animated, and obvious. In Bulgaria, affection simmers beneath the surface. You won't get flashy public gestures, what you'll get instead is a long look across a market square. A glass of homemade wine poured with a half smile. A hand brushing yours on a cold walk home. It's slower, quieter, but once you learn the rhythm, it's intoxicating. Every meaningful travel documentary that explores human connection should feature this moment. The pause, the confusion, the learning. It's the beauty of intimacy wrapped in mystery. So here's a thought. Have you ever fallen deeper for someone, not in spite of the miscommunication, but because of it? What's the most beautiful misunderstanding you've ever had? Number 6, the brides of tradition, love, or transaction. If your travel documentary dares to wade into the gray zone where culture, love, and economics collide, look no further than Bulgaria's Roma bride markets. At first glance, it feels like a fairy tale gone sideways. Young girls aged 15 to 20 dress in their finest lipstick, bejeweled hair, heels clicking across dusty paths. Music floats through the air as families gather, not just to celebrate, but to negotiate. Here, the bride market isn't a spectacle, it's a system. One that blends romance with survival, pride with patriarchy, Grooms eye potential wives, their families ask questions, they bargain. The going rate for a bride can range from $2,800, 0 cents, to $6,000, 0 cents. And if she's exceptionally beautiful or well-regarded, the number climbs. But this isn't about price tags, not really. It's about purity, tradition, and keeping the cultural bloodline intact. And while this scene has stirred outrage abroad, for many Roma, it's sacred. It's not about control, it's about continuation. It's not about selling, it's about safeguarding. In a world where Tinder swipes feel disposable, the bride market is stubbornly real, rooted, ritualistic, and controversial. So if you were there, surrounded by sequins, violins, and whispered negotiations, would you see romance or resistance? Do ancient traditions still have a place in a modern love story? Number 7, a woman's touch in the land of roses. In every good travel documentary, beauty takes center stage. And Bulgaria, famously known as the Kingdom of Roses, is no exception. But behind every fragrant petal is a woman with cracked hands, strong legs, and years of passed-down knowledge. Rose oil may sell for $11,000, 0 cents a liter, but it's the women who rise before dawn to handpick each bloom that truly make this a luxury. In the rose fields of Kazanlak, women lead the harvest. They move with speed and precision, gathering petals at their peak aroma, often while humming songs older than memory. Later, these same women don gowns and crowns for the Rose Festival, dancing, competing, and educating the world on the sacred ritual of distillation. It's not just a job, it's their birthright. Every travel documentary about Bulgaria includes roses, but few spotlight the women who make this beauty bloom. Would you ever trade your morning coffee for a 4 a.m. walk through misty rose fields with a woman who knows which flower still holds dreams? Number 8, the daughters of Lazarus when girls become women. Let's step into one of the most heartwarming chapters of a Bulgarian travel documentary, the Lazaru Festival. A coming-of-age tradition, it marks the moment a girl is seen as a woman. Dressed in embroidered gowns and floral crowns, girls as young as 13 walk door to door singing blessings, dancing with pride, and receiving small tokens of gratitude. The celebration isn't just for show, it's a rite. Once a girl participates, she's officially considered ready for marriage in the eyes of the village. In today's world, that might raise eyebrows, but here it's about honoring growth, celebrating innocence before it slips away, and strengthening the bonds between women across generations. This moment, captured in song, in steps, and in sun-dappled smiles, is a travel documentary dream. It's the kind of beauty that doesn't fade with time, it deepens. If your childhood had a song to welcome you into womanhood, what would its lyrics say? Number 9, the yogurt that built a nation. Now let's swirl into something smoother, Bulgaria's world-famous yogurt. Any travel documentary worth its flavor knows to linger on a spoonful of kisilo mlaiko. Tangy, thick, and creamy. It's not just delicious, it's legendary. The secret? A bacteria so unique it bears the nation's name, Lactobacillus bulgaricus. Women in the countryside still make yogurt the old way. No machines, no shortcuts, just warm milk, a clay pot, and generations of instinct. They use it in soups like tarator, in pastries, or just plain with honey and walnuts. Their kitchens are quiet shrines to fermented magic. In a world of processed everything, this kind of purity is a rare find and a powerful symbol of Bulgaria's stubborn refusal to give up tradition for convenience. In your next travel documentary, don't just eat the yogurt, Watch it being made by hands that remember a time before refrigeration. What's the one food from your childhood that still tastes like home, and who made it? Number 10, The Land Without Time, Women of Odrinci. Now for a story that feels straight out of a travel documentary about utopias and escapes. Deep in southern Bulgaria lies Odrinci, a village where time forgot to keep ticking. There's no internet, no cell service, just goats, herbs, and women in long skirts brushing dew off their doorsteps. Once nearly abandoned, this village was reborn by a group of Germans, many of them women, who left behind tech careers and city life to farm the land. They restored homes, dug wells, and built a community around meditation, herbal medicine, and stillness. Women here don't rush. They don't scroll. They watch stars, stir stews, and debate philosophy by candlelight. In this travel documentary segment, the noise of modern life fades, and in that silence, you hear what really matters. Could you live without screens for a week if it meant waking up to real peace? Number 11, The Eyes of God, a cave that watches you back. Now that we've drifted through fields and festivals, it's time to step into something otherworldly. In northern Bulgaria, your travel documentary can take a dramatic turn inside Prohodna Cave, known as the Eyes of God. This massive limestone cave isn't just a tunnel through the mountain, it's a portal that stares directly at you. Literally, two perfectly shaped holes in the ceiling resemble giant eyes, casting light down in a way that feels divine. Locals say they're the eyes of God during the day, but once night falls and moonlight slips through, they become the eyes of the devil. Eerie? Maybe, but unforgettable. Many believe rituals were once held here, and some say you can feel the energy still humming in the rock. In every travel documentary that explores Bulgaria's hidden gems, Prohodna is a climax, the kind of place that makes you question what's watching you as you wander. Have you ever been in a place so silent and ancient it felt like the earth was listening? Number 12, Death is Just Another Invitation. Bulgaria doesn't hide from death. Instead, it invites it to dinner. In your next travel documentary, don't be surprised to see photos of the dead stapled to trees or families carrying homemade meals to grave sites. Here, death isn't an ending, it's a conversation with ancestors. When someone passes, Bulgarians post portraits around the neighborhood. Weeks later, they'll hold feasts, not in mourning, but in memory. Bread, wine, and laughter fill the air. On special days, people bring food to cemeteries, sharing a symbolic meal with the deceased. Even children grow up visiting their ancestors this way. This ritual isn't grim, it's grounding. In a world rushing to move on, Bulgaria teaches us how to sit still with grief and honor it with presence. If someone cooked your favorite meal after you were gone, what dish would keep your spirit coming back for more? Number 13, The 7 Tears That Became Lakes. Ready to exhale? Let's head into the heart of nature. Rila's 7 lakes are a showstopper in any travel documentary about Bulgaria. 7 alpine jewels formed by glaciers and surrounded by mountains that seem to whisper myths. But legend says they aren't just lakes, they're the tears of a grieving giantess who lost her beloved. Each lake has its own name and personality: the kidney, the eye, the twin. Hike them in summer and you'll witness clear blue waters, alpine flowers, and quiet hikers who speak only in awe. Some lakes reflect the sky so perfectly, you'll feel as if you're walking into another realm. This natural masterpiece doesn't just please the eyes, it slows your pulse. It reminds you that heartbreak and beauty often live side by side, like tears on a smiling face. What's the most beautiful place you've ever cried in, and did the landscape understand you? Number 14, the fortress that refused to die. From fragile feelings to iron walls, your travel documentary now reaches Tsarevets Fortress, Bulgaria's medieval crown. Perched on a rocky hill in Veliko Tarnovo, this 9th century stronghold once defended royalty, priests, and over 300 townspeople. Today, it stands as a defiant skeleton of past glory. Its stone towers and massive walls stretch for miles, with layers of history baked into every brick. Tourists walk through triple-locked gates and imagine sieges, torches, and whispered betrayals echoing off the ruins. The fortress even lights up at night, casting a golden glow that feels both triumphant and tragic. It's more than a photo op, it's a monument to survival, to nations, to culture, and to the human instinct to protect what we love. If your heart had a fortress like this, who or what would be worth guarding? Number 15, the fire, the fury, and the festival. We've seen soft traditions. Now let's feel the heat. In a travel documentary filled with folklore, Bulgaria's fire dancing ritual known as Unattached is pure adrenaline. Barefoot dancers step onto blazing coals, twirling to drum beats under a trance. No pain, no burns, just magic. Once practiced secretly in villages like Bulgaria and Kosti, this ritual combines Christian icons with pagan roots. Dancers carry sacred images through the streets before walking into fire, often without a single blister. Scientists are baffled. Locals aren't. It's not about spectacle, it's about spirit. Nestanari believe they channel divine energy through their bodies, cleansing the community with each step. Would you risk walking through fire if it meant feeling untouchable for a moment? Number 16, the cheapest luxury you've never considered. Let's talk affordability. In this part of your travel documentary, Bulgaria proves that comfort doesn't have to cost a fortune. In cities like Sofia or Varna, a beautiful apartment might set you back $500, 0 cents a month. Less if you head to the countryside. A hearty meal? Try $6, 0 cents. But this isn't just cheap, it's charming. Local markets overflow with sun-ripened tomatoes, homemade cheeses, and bread still warm from the oven. Add affordable public transport, healthcare, and a slower pace of life, and it's clear why digital nomads and retirees are setting up shop here. Even gym memberships come with saunas and yoga for under $40, 0 cents. This isn't budget travel, it's smart living. If you could live richly on less, what luxury would you finally allow yourself to enjoy every day? Number 17, the smartest minds you've never heard of. Surprised yet? Wait till your travel documentary highlights Bulgaria's brainpower. According to Mensa, Bulgarians consistently rank among the highest global IQ averages, and it's not just trivia. Their students often outperform Western peers in math, science, and tech. Take Daniela Simitsieva, reportedly the woman with the world's highest recorded IQ at 200. Or the fact that Bulgaria was the birthplace of the Cyrillic alphabet, used today by millions across Russia, Ukraine, and beyond. Brains and beauty, apparently they come started here. If you had to choose between being extremely smart or incredibly charming, which would win and why? Number 18, the gold that time forgot. Let's wrap some mystery around wealth. In 1972, a tractor driver in Varna struck more than soil. He unearthed the world's oldest known gold treasure, dating back 7,000 years. Over 3,000 artifacts, crafted with surreal precision, lay buried in a cemetery now called the Varna Necropolis. This treasure revealed a structured, class-based society where gold wasn't just wealth, it was sacred. In your travel documentary, imagine ancient warriors being buried in glittering armor, while commoners watched in awe. Today, these artifacts sit in museums, but the energy of power, death, and beauty still haunts the soil they came from. If you could dig up one truth about your past, what would you hope to find? Number 19. When a dog sparked a war. In a travel documentary full of legends, battles, and revolutions, you wouldn't expect the spark for a military clash to be a dog. But in 1925, on the tense border between Bulgaria and Greece, history proved it doesn't always need a grand reason to erupt. Sometimes, all it takes is a wagging tail. It began with a Greek soldier chasing his runaway pup across the border into the small Bulgarian town of Petrich. The border guards reacted, shots were fired, the soldier died. Within hours, the Greek military mobilized over 20,000 troops, advancing deep into Bulgarian territory. Bulgaria, outnumbered, scrambled 10,000 soldiers to defend its land. What followed was a week of rapid escalation and fear, two nations hurtling toward full-scale war, all because of a loyal dog that didn't know it had crossed an invisible line. Luckily, diplomacy prevailed. The League of Nations intervened, ordering Greece to withdraw and compensate Bulgaria with 45,000 pounds sterling, 0 pence, around 4 million pounds sterling, 0 pence today. Peace was restored. The pup? No one knows. But its accidental paw print left a mark in the pages of Balkan history. It's the kind of surreal twist only a travel documentary can deliver. A war started not by men with ambition, but by man's best friend. So tell us, what's the smallest, most innocent mistake you've ever made that turned into total chaos? Number 20, Bulgaria's eternal flame, Baba Vanga. No travel documentary about Bulgaria is complete without the mystical Baba Vanga. Blind since age 12 after a mysterious sandstorm, she claimed it allowed her to see more clearly, and the world listened. Her predictions, haunting. 9/11, Chernobyl, even the rise of ISIS. Some say she saw it all. World leaders, Soviet generals, and locals lined up to hear her prophecies, but Baba Vanga didn't want fame. She lived simply in a mountain village, whispering futures to those brave enough to ask. Even now, years after her death in 1996, her words echo through time. Would you ask to know your future, or would you rather keep the mystery?